Hello everybody, welcome to Let me try that again. Welcome to 5 Noteworthy Things in Sun and Moon. Just before we start, just a warning that this video contains spoilers and my personal preferences to what's important and how I feel about these topics, so please keep that in mind when you're watching this, and if you don't want to know what happens and how I feel about this game, please stop watching the video now as not to ruin anything. Also, I recently have been doing my party lock. I have declared it dead and null and void now since I lost all eligible Pokemon at one point, and I was gonna try to finish it with a hero lock with Spinarak, but you know, it's I actually lost the game, and I know I did. I just didn't want to admit it, and so it's over and it's done. But I'm gonna be doing these until I get my capture card to play Sun and Moon, and I hope you really enjoy this soundtrack that's playing in the background. It is actually the opening title sequence to um, the fan-generated Pokemon game called Insurgents. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I've also played it a little bit um, before. Didn't get quite too far into it, but you know, it's still there. So anyways, let's continue into Pokemon 5 Noteworthy Things in Sun and Moon. Now the first thing is your rival, and I actually count Gladion as a rival, so for those of you who are like, but how's the rival? Yeah, how is a rival, but I also count Gladion because he is important, and I'll get to reasons why. Let's start with How. Now How is your um, first friend that you, well, first real encounter that you meet in Alola. He battles you with the Pokemon who's weak type-wise to what you picked. So like if you started with Rowlet, he has a Popplio, he has a Litten. You chose Litten, he has a Rowlet. So whatever you chose, he has the one weak to that. Which is not a common trait seen in Pokemon games, as a few of the other rivals have had the weaker types to you. Like you battle Shauna, and I'm pretty sure she has the weaker type to you because Serena has the better one. But How is the grandson of the Island Kahuna. That's the only real thing we know about him. We don't know who his father is. He calls you cousin, so he might have some relation to you. Um, but you know, because cousin is usually as a term called for relative. So I'm thinking my theory on How is that he's actually Kukui's and Burnett's son, and he just happens. And Kukui actually is the son of the Island Kahuna, Hala. And he just chose, instead of to protect the island, he chose to do research to better Pokemon moves and know how to actually to learn Pokemon moves, so that way when he becomes the Island Kahuna eventually, he will know how to best serve the island. Let's move on to Gladion. Now, Gladion has an interesting story, but I'm not going to delve into it just yet. I count him as a rival for one of the many reasons is that he is seen throughout the game and he battles you multiple times. He also has that one Pokemon that stays with him throughout it, which is his type Null or his Silvery when you get that far into the game. But he challenges you, he pushes you to your limits. He's actually a decent rival compared to how is just like there and carefree, and it's not really much of a challenge. But Gladion actually poses a threat and battles you with all he can. And actually plays more of a role like Blue did in the first games. Moving on now to your Pokemon professor. Now Kukui is the professor of the Alola region. He's met on Melee Island. He actually helps you get to Melee Island and gets you to arrive in Alola with like all your passport and stuff. Takes care of everything. Introduce you to the Island Kahuna and everything. Get you the first Pokemon. But before I say Kukui is the only professor in this legion, I am wrong. It's actually professors. There's more than one. It was level Burnett and Sam Sanook himself. While Kukui is a specialist training in learning moves of the Pokemon to see which one's best in battle, he is a very key and integral part to the game. He helps you get around from island to island by offering his boat. He also offers advice and helps you progress the storyline. Now Burnett is a weird and kind of cool character to be thrown in here. She's actually married to Kukui, which is not seen throughout many of the Pokemon games, that there's a marriage or there's two professors that are married to each other. It's kind of funny how they have Pokemon labs on different islands. Maybe some kind of feuding there, or maybe just that Renet's research takes her to the island she's on. And what she focuses on is she's multi-space and having more than one region, well, more than one like world. So her studies are on Ultra Beast and Ultra Wormhole. Surprising that she's not working for the Aether Foundation, which is very key into this as well. But that's for another video. And you get the Samson Oak, who is apparently some relative of Professor Oak of the Kanto region. He looks exactly like him, except he's got grayish hair and a tannish brown skin. It's kind of funny because he's an Alolan variant, and that's what he studies. He studies the Alolan variants. And since we're talking about Alolan variants, that's my next topic. Alolan variants are Kanto Pokemon, specifically Kanto Pokemon, because no other region has gotten any Alolan variants that have changed based on the surrounding. And some of them I understand, like Vulpix and Sandshrew, which both turn into ice types. And Vulpix gets the fairy type, while Sandshrew gets the steel type. Sandshrew because he has a shell of armor, looks like a steel type Pokemon, and Vulpix because it's a cute, fluffy, and adorable little ice fox now. And the thing that they make sense because they're found late in the game at the end, but they are found in like an icy region going up a mountain, which makes sense. As well as all the ice types are found pretty much there. Now, some of the ones that don't make sense are like Meowth and Grimer and Rattata, which I don't find any reason for them to have an Alolan variant placed where they are. Now, yes, you have to have the Meowth one to counteract the one that your mother has, but I don't understand why each one of these three Pokemon have the dark typing. Because the areas that they're in are not dark. I understand if these Pokemon were found in like Po Town, why they would have the dark typing, because they're associated with the darkness of Team Skull, but you know, they're not found there, they're found right at the beginning, and they're not really great Pokemon. And the typing makes them a lot weaker, like Meowth and... Well, Meowth's just a dark type then, but Rattata is a dark and normal type, making it 4 times weak to its only weakness, which was fighting. And then also adds in a few other weaknesses as well, besides just the fighting type that normal Rattata would have. Muck and Grimer actually makes sense a little bit because the fighting is weak to poison, so it just does neutral damage, but still I don't understand why they put it where they did. I would kind of love to have seen Grimer and Muck be put in like at the power plant and made like a poison electric type, because I just think that would be a fun and cool combination to have through a Pokemon. Now we're gonna go on to the Island Trials. Now there's 2 types of trials: the Island Trials, which are led by the Island Captains, and the Grand Trial, which are led by the Island Kahunas. Let's start out with the regular trials, the Island Trials. So there is 7 in total, mimicking the Pokemon gyms that are held around the region. There's only 7 though, which is kind of weird, and most of them are based around a type. I think the ones are, there's normal, water, fire, grass, electric. I can't remember the other ones, but you'll play through the game, you'll see. And these campaigns get you the Z crystals for that type or move. So, like if you beat the water one, you get Waterium Z. If you beat the fire one, you get Firium Z. If you beat the grass one, you get Grassium Z. You beat the normal, you get Normalium Z. You get the point. And so they basically sit there and replace the Pokemon gyms, which kind of makes sense in this game because it's based on Hawaii and it's based in the culture of Hawaii, where they have island challenges to prove, where they have young people, especially young boys, go out and prove themselves as men around by doing challenges that most people do not do. The Grand Trial Challenge is actually something odd in itself because it allows you to have 4 more battles with the Island Kahunas. But you have 4 battles with the Island Kahunas, who are supposed to be the strongest Pokemon trainer on their respective islands. which is kind of cool to see how like it's kind of cool to see how they work, and they kind of work as gym leaders as well. So making it like instead of 7 challenges, there's actually 11, which actually boosts the number of gyms in the game if you count it that way. But I don't like to count it that way. I like to count the trials as 7 gyms, and then the grand trials as sort of like battling like boss battles or like Elite Four battles. Like I don't know. It's just a weird type of scheme that they've never used in Pokemon before. That you have you have 7 gyms instead of 8, which is weird. And they're not actually gyms, but they're trial challenges because that's what they do on the islands. And then they have grand trials, which act as some sort of measuring tool to see how you are on the island. I don't really understand how to fit that in, like, make it work. I'm just gonna say it's like battling like the champion or something multiple times just to see how you've grown, or like a rival battle but different people. So I really don't know what to say about those. Going on to the antagonist. Now most of you would think it's your boy Guzma, which you are not wrong, but he's not the main antagonist in this motion picture. He is just helping the actual main protagonist, which is the lovely Lusamine. I think that's, yeah, Lusamine. Now, she is actually, it's kind of weird how they play her off. The player, like, I mean, she's obviously a beautiful woman, but she's like supposed to be like 40 or something, like 50 something, and she looks like she's 20, which is weird. But she's the head of the Aether Paradise and the Aether Foundation, and her goal is to get the Ultra Beast to become her friends. And she does everything in her power to do it, including basically disowning her own children for denying her rights, calling them ugly because they do not follow what she says. So basically, her perfect world is of beauty and of following what she wants. So like, if she gets the Ultra Beast, that's a beautiful world. Like if she doesn't and anyone gets in her way, they're considered ugly or garbage, basically. Which is how she treats her children, by the way. Actually, she works with Guzma, who is supposed to look like the main antagonist because he's the head of the Team Skull, but she's actually it when she's the head of the Aether Paradise, the Aether Foundation, because she uses that to get Lily, and uses Team Skull to get Lily to bring Cosmog there to open the Ultra Dimensional Rift, and she gets into the Ultra World. And she even goes as far as to mutate into an Ultra Beast with the help of Nihileo, which is one of the Ultra Beasts. Just a weird concept. I mean, she's a cool character, and I actually really liked her until I got through to near the end of the game where you got to see her in the Ultra Beast land, and then I'm just like, she's crazy and I don't like her anymore. But like, I thought she, like, playing the role as the president when you first meet her was a pretty cool idea, and she actually was pretty nice and seemed willing to help you, which is really weird because she turned into who she is. But you knew something was up when she saw the Ultra Beast. That was just something weird. And I figured that it had to be in the game just so they could show like her perspective in getting what she wants. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more content from me. As I said earlier, I'm not going to be continuing my party lock because I actually failed it. I'm officially calling it a failed attempt, even though we were almost to the champion. And we almost got to the end. We just lost because I don't do any training or anything, and I actually need to start doing that. So I'm going to try to do better next time. And I hope you watch my next playthrough, which I'm hoping to be Pokemon Sun or Pokemon Moon once I get a capture card soon. So until then, I'm going to be doing videos like this where I talk about things and continuing my Trainer Talk series. I'm probably going to stay on Sun and Moon, maybe throw in a few theories and stuff that I have been thinking about doing, but really just have to think about what I'm going to do and then work on executing and finishing it. Again, I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. But until next time, I'm Chaos May 006. I'll smell you later.